7 Commanders. Commander Wyl Fearion, leader of the Vortex Squadron here. Today on the Going In Hot podcast, we're going to talk about the new event, a precursor to something bigger. As a war has broken out near HIP 87621. We're going to talk about that and some other things and where I think this is all going right here, right now. Alrighty, Commanders. So we're going to get into this. We've got some things going on. Apparently, the October Consortium, which if you haven't been following along, is a group of folks that have had their little grippers on a secret that they've had for decades. And it's a new type of flora in the galaxy. Exobiology is kind of a thing in Elite Dangerous. Never really took off. It never really got fully vested. Just kind of got there. You could go around, scan plants, collect money. Nothing else ever came of it. But now, there's apparently in HIP 8761, there is a bunch of these somewhat like forests, and they have biologicals on them that you can use a hand tool, your hand scanner, to run around and collect the data from them. Now, that event ended a couple days ago. However, there is now a war among the superpowers. That'd be the Alliance, the Independents, the Federation, and the Imperials, or the Empire. Now, of course, you can tell probably by looking at the interior of my ship here which one I'm supporting. However, whatever power wins this battle for the next 2 weeks, is supposed to get something first, get the information first. I don't think it's going to be exclusive only to Empire, but you might get an extra reward, things like that. We're going to talk a little bit about the event, what's going on, and all that in this video. Also, I wanted to mention that I think what's happening now is because they put the next major update for Elite is going to be called Operations, where we're going to be able to do ground and space missions together as a kind of a more cohesive unit. Right now, it's kind of like the ground, the on foot stuff is very separate from the space stuff, and it's almost like two games. So I think they're next year they're going to focus more on bringing those things together. And the next major step is Operations, where they're going to start introducing the stuff. And I believe that's why Cygnus and Orion, I think at some point, the two megaships that ended up meeting up in HIP 8761 will be a testing ground for some of this new stuff that they want to put in the game, where you can actually get onto megaships and raid them. And maybe we have to get in there and steal information to learn more about the Radicoida, Unica, and that sort of thing. I think that's their purpose now. I didn't know at first, but now I have a feeling that's where they're going. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on that, obviously. So in the next 2 weeks, when this event wraps up, they're going to give us something to do, because typically at the end of the year, the development team goes on hiatus. And that is usually, a couple of months. So we won't see anything new in the way of additions to the game, really major ones anyway, until possibly March-ish next year. They said they were going to come back in February and give us an update as to what's going on and all that. Maybe they'll give us their roadmap for the year. And hopefully they'll plan it better this time so that they're not late on the third thing like they've been for the last 2 years. However, joking aside, Commanders, I got to get a little dig in every now and then. We've got this event. So I'm kind of at near one of the events right now. Obviously, a couple things you want to know is that you want to be signed up to a power, one of the 12 powers. That's not really who's fighting. We're actually collaborating with so each power is a member of one of those four groups that I mentioned previously, whether it's independent, alliance, federation, or empire or imperial. Those are the four powers that are fighting against each other. It's not individual like power play right now. It's kind of an overarching thing. So basically, if you're in one of those groups, your friends are going to be also in one of those groups. So you don't want to fight them. But what they've done is pretty slick. We'll go over the whole thing. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at the actual event stuff. Oh, it's over here. So it pretty much anywhere you can sign up anywhere, but the mega ship that you need to turn in at will be listed in the description. So you'll have to go to that mega ship to close out. I guess when the event is over, you have your choice of which one you want to pick. I'm obviously Imperial, so I can click on that one. You can see I'm already in the top 25%, but the information is here. It says here we go. The Allied, Imperial, Federal, and Independent powers have deployed fleets to undermine, contest, and fortify the enclave surrounding HIP 8761 following the discovery of the Radicoida Unica, a unique flora with promising biochemical properties. And we don't know what that is yet. It's going to be like, is that going to cure all diseases in the galaxy? Is it a new type of weed? Are we going to all be are we all going to be drug lords? Is it going to turn into a new biological terror like the Thargoids? We don't know yet. But in any event, this is where we're at. So the rival powers are clashing in open combat across the region. The Empire cannot allow any rival entity to establish control. So that's what we're fighting for, is control of the Radicoida Unica. I don't know what that involves or entails, but we'll get to that eventually. It compels all agents of Imperial powers to travel to HIP 8761. Obviously, if you're not in Imperial, this would not. You're just going to have to pretend. Every time I say Imperial, that means whatever your thing is. If you're Feds or Independent or Alliance. Okay? Engage in power play activities. The basic activity is conflict zones. There's several conflict zones, and we'll get into that more, I guess, as we go along. But the conflict zones, I'll warn you now, commanders, are all mediums. So that means a solo player's gonna have a day of it. Okay, so because of the fact that they put in a medium, you get what's called propaganda ships, and you also get or correspondence ships, and you also get alpha. What is that called? There's another one, spec ops, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, or whatever. You get all those as well, and those guys are a little bit tougher. So for a solo person, I'm going to do a solo run today a little bit. So just know that if you don't have to finish the entire sequence, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in a little bit. Pilots may participate in this initiative first by signing up at the Sapphire Lance megaship in the HIP 88965 system. That is true. You can do it there, but you don't have to. You can sign up pretty much anywhere. I signed up, in a system couple down the road a piece. So the undermining systems in the enclave surrounding HIP 71. Only systems occupied by non-imperial aligned powers are valid targets for this initiative. Now, that's where the cool thing comes in. I can show this to you. They've basically marked the systems so you can see where they are. So that's a really great thing that they've got going on here. The power conflict zones are available for combat pilots and marked systems. So they are they're marked on the map. That's what I just said. I guess I'm getting ahead of the cart here. Pilots must be pledged to a power. So if you haven't signed up to a power, you probably should do that. You can do that on your right panel under power play, and then pick the power you want to be a member of. I'm going to tell you right now, you probably want to be a member of an Empire Power or an Imperial Power right now, because that's probably who's going to. I don't know, but they're out there gunning really hard right now. So, you know, and there's free feet picks to for people of uh, what's her name, Ashling, whatever, not Aisling, but you know which one I'm talking about. Anyway, pilots, or the blue-haired one. I can never remember her name. They made them both. They made both the emperor and her whatever she is, niece or whatever, with this almost. Their names are too close together. I can't keep them straight. I just know one's an emperor, one's not. One's a pop star. So you must be registered to a power. Pilots who register at least one contribution will receive. And by one contribution, they mean you got to blow up one ship. Okay. And it gets turned in automatically. You don't have to turn it in. It turns it in automatically. You don't have to do any of that. That's great. You also don't have to pick a side when you go into combat. It already knows. You've already picked it right here. Boom, you're in. It's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I love it. It's beautiful. So you get one pre-engineered fixed mount class 2 rapid fire multi-cannons with increased damage and phasing sequence. Those things sound pretty brutal. Credits depending on the success tier achieved and individual contribution level. So now, if you want to actually win more, you got to get in the top 75%, and those in the top 75% will receive an additional pre-engineered multi-cannon. They get 20,000 merits if the initiative has the highest contribution, and 10,000 merits otherwise. Okay, so not tons of merits here. 10,000, 20,000. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm reading these numbers right. As a Thargoid AX pilot, anti-Thargoid AX pilot, yeah, we used to deal in millions and billions, so it's a little weird looking at these tiny little teeny-weeny numbers. The campaign begins on the 27th of November, so it's already started, 3311, and will run for 2 weeks. It's anticipated that the battle for control of HIP 87621 49 System Enclave will continue long after this initiative. So this is where I was going on about, they're gonna finish this event and then they're gonna go on vacation. But in the meantime, they're gonna keep allowing us to kick each other's butt, because I think you have to eventually, somebody has to control them all. I don't know if they're going to split those up or if it's just going to be one power is going to control the whole thing, whether it's Empire, or Federation or Independent or Alliance. Okay, so I'm not sure how that's going to play out yet, but I'm keeping an eye on it, Commanders. This is a competitive initiative. So, yeah, we're fighting. We're scrapping. And now you don't have to scrap with real pilots. Okay, keep that in mind, Commanders. I know, it's crazy talk, I know. But you can do this in a private group or solo just fine. It all works. If you don't want to be bothered, if you want to go kick real players' butts, do it in open. That's fine. It's not a problem. However, just be prepared, Commanders, because those PvP people, they ain't no joke. They're serious, and they don't care about your feelings. So don't do it if you don't want to. This is a competitive initiative. You may only sign up for one side at a time. You may switch sides by abandoning the goal, but note that any existing contributions will be forfeit. Now, I don't know that you couldn't say I'm a member of the obviously the Emperor's power are in power play, but there's nothing stopping me from signing up to whoever's going to win the war. So I don't know if that's a thing or not. Maybe I'm just speculating here. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, it looks like you could do that. So also, that's it. So that's basically it. Once you sign up, you go in, you look at, you sign up to whichever one, then you can see your contributions. You can see the progress of the campaign, how it's going. It doesn't really show here, at least I'm not seeing it. How each of the different powers are doing. I'm assuming you can look through them all, but I don't want to be bothered. But I guess, let me see if I go in here. Okay, so I guess, yeah, I guess you can see the undermining efforts, so you could technically figure it out for each power. So that's interesting. For each superpower. So I don't want to say the wrong word because then I'll get a actually. Yeah, I don't want to hear that. So I'm all good. So yeah, so that's the deal right there. Now let me show you on the map how you find them, right? So if you're over near 8761 or you go to your mega ship, you'll also be able to see on the map. You'll be able to open your galaxy map, and I don't know that it matters which of these you pick, but on power play, you can see that blue marker with the target. That's one of the systems you can attack for the Empire, right? So there's three of them. I know there's five. There they all are. So all these systems right here are where we can attack right now. So each one of these is probably controlled by a different power. So you end up fighting whoever's not on your side. So you go to those places and you can do that. So I happen to have a system nearby, which I think we were, yeah, you can see over there. That's my system, and so yeah, I'm pretty close to the action, which was what we intended when we started colonizing out here. Now I may be in that 39, or what do they say, 39, 49 systems area, the enclave. We're probably in the enclave, so my system will eventually probably be subject to part of the war, which is fine. It's kind of why I got that sucker. So I'm happy that we're going to have that. And I'm going to continue as long as possible. I'm going to continue to keep colonizing out here because I like this area. So many nice planets out here. So much nice. Plus, we wanted to be near ground zero. So we're very close to HIP, HIP 8761. So we're ready to do all that. So today, as far as my ship goes, I'm using a kind of a basic ship. I'm using the Corsair. It's basically beam lasers, and it's fully engineered. I don't know that you have to fully engineer everything, but I'm going to tell you right now, those spec ops guys are pretty tough. If you don't have an engineered ship, you're probably gonna struggle. Now this event is obviously because they don't have any lows. They're expecting this to be tough on solo players, but it's a lot easier. Even if you just have with single wingman, it's so much easier to do. But once you get to one of the systems that you want to go to, if you guys want to look at the loadout real quick, I can show you the loadout of this ship, and it's got the hard points. It's got I've got a 3D beam laser. This one is turreted, long range, oversized. I got this one efficient weapon, oversized. This one's efficient, oversized. Those are all threes, size 3. On the 2s, we got long range, oversized, long range, oversized, and the beam laser at the very bottom is also turreted. This one has thermal vent, long range thermal vent. It does help a little bit, especially when you're constantly firing beam lasers, to be able to cool yourself off a little bit. We'll get into that just a little bit today. I'm not going to go super deep into this right now. I will tell you this: if you need to get a hold of me, or you want to go out and fly with me or the Vortex Squadron, please check the links below the video. There will be links to our Discord and other various places where you can catch us and come out and help, or fight against if you like. So the utility mounts I'm using this is a standard shield tank. So it's got the resistance, augmented, super capacitor shield boosters. This is probably not meta. Somebody will probably yell at me, but I don't care. And then also you have the military. I have the military grade composite, which is heavy duty deplating, power plant overcharged monstered, the dirty drive tuning drag drives, and the increased FSD mass manager SCO pre-engineered, which is a nice SCO drive. Life support is the 4D miscellaneous lightweight, and then your power distributor charge enhanced with super conduits. Everything's full size, class A, except for the 2 that don't need to be, which is the obviously the sensors and the life support. We do D's to give us a little bit, that little smidgen of jump range. You can see the jump range on this thing is not amazing, but as I've said before, I don't usually use fuel scoops. I just bring my carrier nearby, and then I jump off the carrier and I go. Okay, so now in here, this is the goodies, right? And this is a PvE build, by the way. Reinforced shields, fast charge. You got your module reinforcement package. Not sure that I need it for this one because we're not fighting Thargoids. However, never hurts to protect your modules as much as possible, commanders. And then, of course, Guardian Shield reinforcements all the way down, even with the anti-Guardian Zone resistance on them. This is just a beast. All these shield reinforcements all the way down. Of course, we have an advanced docking computer because we can, and there are no vehicles on this ship. So there you go. Now let's go ahead. We're going to get out here. We're going to go to one of these. We're going to go to one of these zones, and then we're going to get into it. All right. We fast forwarded through a little bit of that so we can get to this part where we're going to show you over here. If you look on your navigation, you'll see a whole bunch of power conflict zones, medium intensities. There's just gobs of them, right? So you can pick whichever one you want, and then you can go to it, and then you get to business. You don't have to do anything else. I mean, you just go in and you start a fight, and let's see how far away this is. See if I need to fast forward through this part. We'll see. I don't have much else to say about it. Yeah, okay, so we're here. We are right on point, boys. We are going in hot, and we are ready to start this combat. It starts just about the same as any other CZ. The only difference is you don't have to pick a side because you've already done that. So keep that in mind. Also, remember, as a solo player, you do not need to finish the entire instance. If you can't get through it for any reason, fly out, go to one of the stations, repair, refuel, rearm, do what you got to do, and when you go back, you'll have to start a new instance, but it's better than the alternative. So, and you basically get out your weapons and you go to town. And then if you kill one ship, you win. You win, Commander. Let's see what's in here. Because right now, this is a weird instance. It's not showing me what I need to see. Yeah, this instant, and I've had this happen a couple times. Sometimes the instances get a little wonky. So the best thing to do is just jump out. Go ahead and jump out. Because there's no sides in here. So this is more like a pirate zone. I had this happen earlier. So I just jumped out and jumped back in. It seemed to be fine. I think we'll take another look real quick at the... Yeah, it's right there, man. So all we got to do is turn around. We'll go back in. We'll see if it sets right. Yeah, if you don't start seeing green and red enemies, unless you have your HUD colors changed, but whatever your enemy and your allies' names are, or colors are, that's a thing. So let's go ahead and jump back in here. See if it's just a glitch, or if it's something more sinister. More sinister. Let's go ahead and fly in. Once you get about this close, we should see. Yeah, I'm still not seeing it. Holy spuckets. Hey, is this one bugged out? Because these guys are all yellow. Yep, this is 2 fails in a row, commanders. I mean, it is Nikado Kane. See, but you can't select the side. You've already basically picked one. I don't know if... Let me see. Let's go ahead, because it is Nikado Kane. So maybe let's go ahead and see the one that I just tagged. If it's going to let me do it anyway. The only problem is that without the color coding, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. And we'll just try one real quick. There we go. Well, she's red now. Oh, there they go. She started popping in. Some red ones, all the ones that didn't like that I just attacked that ship, came and got me. So I don't know if that's what kind of thing is going on there. Most of the time, you see the people you're allied with and the people that you're not, and you can just go through and take them out, depending on your flying skill. Wow, that's really loud. I hope you guys can hear me okay. It seems like we're just getting barreled over, but maybe not. All right, so we'll turn that down just a smidgen. It is pretty loud in here. We'll turn that down just a smidgen. All right, there we go. I don't need that much clarity in my life. As long as you're not shooting your guys, it's all good. Just make sure you're shooting the red ones, not the green ones. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that color, but we'll go ahead and we'll try to finish this off. Now this ship runs a little hot, I'm not gonna lie. Where'd it go? Did they jump out? Yeah, they might have. I'm gabbing and not getting work done is what's happening. But the thing is too is that this isn't showing me the scoreboard. So I'm not happy with that part. We're gonna have to jump out of here one more time, commanders. Unfortunately, I am not happy with this at all. Disrupted. They've disrupted me. Alright. I'm gonna jump out of here. I'm gonna find an instance that's working. And then I'll report back. ASAP. Alright. Well, I had to jump to a couple different ones, but I did get them to acknowledge me as being in a conflict now, so it's good. I don't know what was going on there. Hopefully that's just something temporary. Now, so we'll go in there, we'll go ahead. And all you gotta do is break down one ship. So what you do is you pick like the smallest one. You know, usually that helps, but doesn't always work. But and remember that you want to go ahead and once you take one out, you don't have to turn anything in. It'll automatically show your contribution, especially at stations. And if sometimes it takes a minute to update everywhere. So if you really want the most up-to-date, quickest amounts, go to the megaship, and the megaship is usually on point. As a solo player, like I said, it's going to take a little bit more time because these are mediums and there's a lot to unpack here, a lot going on. So, and then the other thing is you're going to get correspondence and you're going to get spec ops, and those guys tend to gang up on you more, so you'll be like, you know, so you need to, yep, there goes the spec ops. I haven't seen the course. Sometimes you only get one or the other, but sometimes you get both. And usually when you get both, it's not a fun day for you. So just remember, all you got to do is just jump out of the instance, jump back in, you know, and assuming that they fix the issues with those with the instance not starting when it's supposed to, then it should be just fine. With two people, you can probably do this in maybe a half hour, 45 minutes. One person, it'd probably take, if you wanted to go all the way through it, it would probably take over an hour. I mean, it depends on your skill. Like I said, if you're going to synthesize ammo and go all crazy and have fun, whatever, yeah, you could do it a little bit quicker. I don't have enough pips in my weapons. Even though it does still get hot because I am running all beams, and a couple of them are efficient, which makes them do a little less damage, but for the most part it does a nice amount of damage. Also remember, you can ram these guys, so especially if you're in a Corsair is a good little ramming ship. You have to be, obviously you want to have to line up right and all that kind of thing, and yeah, that's, you know how I am, commanders. I'm not usually that good. Yeah, I missed him. See, but there you go. That would have been a beautiful ram. Had I connected with it, would have been amazing. So yeah, we're just going to try to get through this first one ship here. Yeah, I got the turrets going. The turret had killed it by itself. And there you have it, commanders. Damn right I am. So that's basically where we're at. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it in the info or the comments down below the video. Obviously, all the links to the things you need to know and do and see are available there as well. I've been Commander Wyl Fearion. 07 Commanders.